Hello everyone, this is the second video for the chapter Force and Laws of Motion for class 9th. In the last video I have discussed about the force and inertia. Now in this video we will discuss about the Newton laws of motion. So I will discuss all the three laws of motion in this video. So we'll start with first law of motion. Newton's first law of motion. This law of motion is also called law of inertia. Why is it so? It will be clear to you after the statement, after I will explain the first law of motion. Okay, what is the statement for the first law of motion? First I will write the statement, then I will explain you what is the meaning of this. We can actually divide this statement into three different parts. So what does first law states? That every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion along a straight line unless compelled by external force to change its state. Okay, so this is the statement. Now what does it mean? Like every object will remain at rest. Now this is the first part. Every object will remain at rest. Now you can see around you, like you are having chair, table, your books, your mobile, your laptop, anything. If they are at rest, they will remain at rest unless an external force is applied on them. Unless you go and move them or someone else come and move them, apply a force on them to change their state. So every object will remain at rest unless compelled by external force. जब तक आप force नहीं लगा तो external force is applied. Okay. So every object will remain at rest. This is true. Or in uniform motion along a straight line. Now this part is difficult to realize here on earth. Basically in uniform motion means if it is moving with constant speed, the object keeps on moving with constant speed. For example, if a ball is rolling on the ground with some speed, it will keep on moving with the same speed. But what do you actually observe in your routine life? If you throw a ball, if you roll a ball on the ground, what happens? It covers certain distance, its speed slowly decreases and ultimately it comes to rest. Why? What is the reason? Yes, due to frictional force. Because when you roll it on the ground, there is frictional force which is acting on the ball which makes it stop. Had there been no frictional force, then the ball must be moving forever and ever. So if the object is in uniform motion along a straight line, this you can imagine, like if a ball is moving in a straight line, it will continue to move in straight line unless you apply the force on it, or it may hit something and then change its direction. So straight line option, this you can also realize in real life. Remain at rest, straight line, and yes, of course in uniform motion it will continue to move with the same velocity if there is no friction. So this is your first law of motion, that all these three things, if the object is at rest, it will remain at rest forever. If it is in uniform motion, it will keep on moving. If along the straight line means if it is moving in one direction, it will continue in that direction until and unless compelled by external force to change its state. It means when we apply force, we can change the state of rest, we can change the state of uniform motion, we can change the direction of motion. And what is all this? This is all definition of force. It means your first law define force actually. So we can say that from Newton's first law, we can get the definition of force. So your Newton's first law actually define force. Because what is force? When you apply external force, it will change the state of rest, it will change the state of uniform motion, means it will change the speed, can increase or can decrease the speed. it can change the direction of motion. And this is all we have done in the definition of force. And why is it called law of inertia? Now see what Newton's first law states, that every object will remain at rest unless compelled by external force. So this is also inertia of rest, because if an object is at rest, then it will tend to remain at rest. It will continue to remain at rest until you apply force on that object. So this is the definition of inertia of rest. Similarly, moving on to second part, every object will be in uniform motion, means if the object is moving, then it will continue to move until compelled by external force to stop. So again, this represents inertia of motion. The third thing, along a straight line, means direction. So the object will continue to move in one direction until and unless some external force is applied. This is the definition of inertia of direction. That is why Newton's first law of motion is also called law of inertia, because it is explaining all types of inertia, or it is, you can say, it is containing all types of inertia. That is why this first law is also called law of inertia. Okay, so this is all about first law of motion. Always remember, if an object is at rest, it will remain at rest. If it is in uniform motion, it will remain in uniform motion along a straight line until and unless compelled by external force to change its state. Okay, now we will discuss the examples. So what are the examples basically, or illustration of Newton's first law in your routine life? So I will take just one example. For example, you are sitting in a bus. Okay, initially the bus is at rest. You all people are sitting in the bus talking to each other. You don't know when the bus will start. Now suppose suddenly the bus will start. What happened? You all will fall in backward direction. Reason, when suddenly the bus starts, your lower part is in contact with the bus that started, but the upper part, which is not in direct contact with the bus, that tends to remain at rest because of inertia of rest. Because initially you were sitting, you were resting, so your body wants to remain at rest only. But what happened when the bus starts suddenly? Your lower part, which is in contact with the bus, that started suddenly, but the upper part wants to remain there only. So your lower part moves away, upper part remains there. So that is why you fall in backward direction. Similarly, when the bus stops suddenly, what happened when the brakes are applied suddenly? You fall in forward direction. Reason being, again, when the bus is moving, now your body is used to, now it is in motion. Your body has inertia of motion now. Because the bus is in motion, your body has adapted that inertia of motion now. Now what happened when suddenly brakes are applied? What happened? The lower part, which is in contact with the bus, means your body is moving, but the lower part, which is in contact with the bus, that suddenly stops, but the upper body tends to move. Lower part suddenly stopped, but the upper body is still moving because of inertia of motion. That is why you fall in forward direction. Similarly, when the bus moves on or go on a hilly area, then what happened? On the hilly area, when suddenly a turn is taken, what is the tendency of your body? To move in the straight line. When suddenly a turn is taken in this direction, but your body wants to move straight. So what happened? You feel like your body is falling in opposite direction, because the bus wants to go in this direction, but your body wants to move straight. So you feel like you are falling in opposite direction. So that is due to inertia of direction. Okay, so these are all the examples of Newton's first law of motion, or you can say the examples of inertia also. This is all about first law of motion. So you can have number of examples in your books. For example, when a carpet is beaten with stick, dust comes out. What is the reason? Like initially your carpet is at rest. When you beat it with the sticks, your carpet comes into motion. Okay, it comes into motion immediately, but the dust particles, they tend to remain at rest because of inertia of rest. So your carpet moves, but dust particle falls over there only because of inertia of rest. So all these are example, like when you shake the branches of tree, what happened? The branches comes into motion, but the leaves or the fruits, they want to remain at rest because of inertia of rest. That is why they fall down. Okay, so all these examples, they are related to your first law of motion. Then is Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion. So in Newton's second law of motion, before doing this, we need to do one quantity that is called momentum. Okay, what is momentum? Now imagine there are two balls. One is made up of rubber, your cricket ball you can say, and another one is the plastic ball. Okay, both are having like same shape, same size, but of course rubber ball is heavy, its mass is more as compared to the plastic ball. So the rubber ball is heavy as compared to the plastic ball. Ask your friend to stand away from you at large distance and throw a plastic ball with high speed towards you. And when he is holding the rubber ball, ask him to stand very near to you and then just throw with a small speed to you. In which case, you will find you will be injured more when he throws the plastic ball with high speed or when he throws a rubber ball with a very slow speed. Of course, with the plastic ball, because it is coming to you with high speed. Similarly, if he throws both the balls at you with same speed, then because this is heavy, it will injure you more as compared to plastic ball. Thus, the injury you are getting means the force which you are getting from the balls, that depend upon two factors. Number one is the mass. Number two is the speed or velocity. And the product of these two is called momentum. So this is how we measure momentum. Momentum is mass into velocity. We can say momentum is the power of motion. Momentum is the quantity of motion contained in the object. Momentum is measured by mass into velocity. Momentum we generally denote by P. So P equals to mass into velocity. Okay, so here velocity we know, vector quantity. Momentum is also a vector quantity. Its direction is towards the direction of force. P equals to m into v. So what are the units of momentum? For mass, SI units are kilogram. For velocity, SI units are meter per seconds. So units of momentum, SI units of momentum are kilogram meter per second. Okay, so this is all about momentum, quantity of motion contained in the body. Now coming back to our Newton's second law. What is the statement of Newton's second law? That first we'll come to statement. Force applied on an object is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum and the change in momentum takes place in the direction of force. Okay, now what does it mean? Force applied on an object is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Now understand this word, rate of change of momentum. Whenever it is written rate of, it means whatever quantity is written after it, like here it is written change of momentum divided by time taken. Rate of means this only, that we divide this quantity by the time taken. So force applied on an object is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum, and the change in momentum, obviously it takes place in the direction of force. Wherever you are applying the force, momentum will change in that direction. Mathematically, we can write force is directly proportional. Now this is the sign of directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. Okay, this is our force. Force is equal to rate of change of momentum. This is mathematically. Now this is the proportional sign. What does it mean? Directly proportional means if this is increased, rate of change of momentum, force will also increase. So direct relation 1:1. If this will increase, this will also increase. Okay, like if this will decrease, this will also decrease. So force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. Now how can we write force as F? What is change in momentum? Proportional to rate of change of momentum. We can write it as change in momentum divided by time taken. Okay, so force is proportional to, how to find change in momentum? See, it is final momentum minus initial momentum. So this will give you the change in momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum over time taken. Now what is final momentum? See, if the object is initially having velocity u, finally having velocity v, then final momentum is, momentum is mass into velocity. So mass into final velocity minus initial momentum, mass into initial velocity. So this is your initial momentum. See the formula, m into v. So mass into final velocity, final momentum, mass into initial velocity, initial momentum, divided by time taken. Okay, so we can write force is directly proportional to, take m common, v minus u divided by t. Now what is this v minus u divided by t? Change in velocity over time taken. This is your acceleration. So force is proportional to mass into acceleration, because this is the expression for acceleration. So force is proportional to mass into acceleration. Okay. Now what happened when we remove proportionality sign? There is always a constant. After this, we will write force is equal to Km into A. What happened? We have removed this proportionality sign. Whenever we remove proportionality sign, there is any constant, you can name it anything, A to Z, you can name it anything. I have named here K. K is called constant of proportionality. Now, if m equals to 1 kg, acceleration is 1 meter per second square, and F equals to 1 Newton. Everything is 1. See, this is 1. K, m is 1 into 1. So what is the value of K? K comes out to be 1. So the value of proportionality constant is 1. Thus, the above expression is F equals to m into A. So this is the mathematical form of Newton's second law. But don't write it as statement. Like whenever it is asked what is the statement, please do not write that force is mass into acceleration. Statement is that force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum, and the change in momentum takes place in the direction of force. This is the statement. See how we have proved force is proportional to rate of change of momentum. Force is proportional to change in momentum over time taken. How to calculate change in momentum? Final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum is mv, initial momentum is mu divided by time taken. Take m common, v minus u over t. What is this v minus u over t? This is A. So F is proportional to ma. Removing this proportionality sign, we put a constant K, that is constant of proportionality. So if m is 1 kg, A is 1 meter per second square, F is 1 Newton, so you can calculate K equals to 1. So what is force? It is mass into acceleration. So this is mathematical expression for Newton's second law. Okay. So guys, I think this video is too long. So I will discuss its application and Newton's third law in next video. Thank you and have a good day.